Intimidation, pure intimidation. They use these tactics to keep people from coming to City Hall. They use it to keep people from speaking out and giving their opinion on what is going on in City Hall. And if you can control the narrative in a situation, you're going to do that. And I don't blame people. When you're not used to people with bullhorns, yelling and screaming and calling you names and denouncing you, nobody wants to have to deal with that. So the best thing to do is to walk away and stay away, even though you want to participate. But these are the tactics that Victoria Baca, her Goon Squad, and Highland Fairview use to control the narrative. And what they hope to do with Highland Fairview money is that Highland Fairview is going to continue to fund these people until you get tired. And that's how it's done, because you have other things to do. Life goes on. We all have families, and everybody understands that. And eventually you're going to get tired because you have other things to do. Then you have people like me. And I'm never here to suppress anybody's freedom of expression. They can say what they like to say and do what they like to do. But at the same time, I'm going to exercise my right to do so too. Veterans, above anybody else, in my opinion, have the right to speak when they want to speak, how they want to speak, because you know what? They picked up the rifle and put their lives on the line to do so. So when, I'm not saying, again, if you want to speak, speak. But maybe I'm biased, but when you're a veteran, I have a lot more respect for you, even though I don't agree with you. Frank Wright, 25-year resident, veteran, I don't agree with him. I don't agree with his agenda. I don't agree where he's going, but I respect his opinion. Why? Because he's a fellow veteran, and he earned that right, so I'm going to respect that personally. Do I agree with it? No, and I'm very sure he doesn't agree with mine. But we've got children watching us, and when you go to city council, it's like looking at middle school. I'm a middle-aged person, and you got people older than me that are acting like children when they don't get their way. And the funny thing is, when these people get up to speak, their narrative is like zero. They have talking points, but the talking points have no substance to it. And it's just ridiculous. Sometimes Mr. Wright gets up there, and he really talks, from what he believes in his heart when he's not on his talking points. But he does come with his notes to hit the points he wants to hit. Do I agree with it? No, not all of it. But again, he's earned that right. So yeah, for a lot of people, this is a very scary situation, and these are the kind of people he supports. Now, the question that people have been asking me is, well, you're doing this to Victoria Baca because you have a personal thing against her. I don't even know the lady. I don't know Victoria Baca other than she was my representative in my district. And the research that I've done on Victoria Baca, my opinion about Victoria Baca is not based on my personal interaction with her, because when she was a representative and I tried to get meetings, she canceled meeting after meeting after meeting with me. And I couldn't understand that. But once I did my homework and I researched Victoria Baca and found out that she's a member of the Mexican Political Association, which do not like black people. They don't like Asians. They don't like white. They believe that they're the indigenous people here, and California is Mexico, and they advocate for illegal immigration. When you know the truth, it's a powerful thing, and people can't stand the truth. So when people say that I have a personal agenda against Ms. Baca, first of all, you have to know the person personally, and I don't know her. So everything that I do is based on what I research, and I say that all the time on my show. Please do your research. Research what I'm saying. Research what they're saying. Trust but verify. That's Ronald Reagan used to say that all the time. I trust you, but I just want to verify what you're saying is correct. And that's what I'm trying to get people to do. And Highland Fairview and Victoria Baca and the Goon Squad, because people are so busy, they count on people taking the soundbite. This election is so pivotal, and it's so important coming up moving forward. So, yeah, I'm for freedom of speech. So if you're going to say what you're going to say, go ahead and say it. But you know what? Here's a document. And if what I'm saying, according to Ms. Baca and the Goon Squad, is lies, okay, I presented a document. I presented a case number. Every time they call me a liar, I present a document which basically backs up what I'm saying. And then they go silent. So it makes you wonder, who's lying here? Is it me or is it them? If you don't believe, and then when I put the document up, their answer is, oh, it's a fake document. He doctored that. Well, that's a very, very serious accusation for somebody who's putting up a Riverside County Sheriff document that I doctored. That's a serious crime. And I'm going to put it up on social media? Totally ridiculous. And that's why I really wish people would just use their common sense. Just use your common sense. Now, the very same rights that Victoria Baca and the Goon Squad use, freedom of speech, let my people go, I can say what I want to say, blah, 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 blah. Okay? Why don't they use that same freedom of speech to answer that document? Because I'm not accusing you of anything. I'm saying this is what's going on. The document accuses you of something. But notice the only rebuttal they have to the documents that is presented is it's lies. There is only one way to refute that document. And that's for you, the listener, and the viewer to go and see if this document actually exists, if there's an investigation actually going on. Personally, I don't know this lady. I don't know Chris, don't want to know him. Because from what I've researched, these are people I don't want to be associated with, and I don't want these people representing Moreno Valley, much less my district. So I want to make sure that my district remembers what we went through, the embarrassment and the humiliation of having a representative, number one, involved in the biggest bribe in FBI history, $2.3 million, going through that. She refused to temporarily step down until the investigation was concluded, having to put her through a recall where 70% of the district got rid of her. There were more people that signed the petition than voted for her. So mathematically, if she was smart, she would have known I'm losing my seat and resigned. At least you won't have the recall banner on top of your head. So as she comes back to run, you're involved in the FBI investigation, you're involved in embezzlement, and now you're involved in an FPPC violation where you did not report monies accepted or monies going out. And the FPPC calls me and asks me, basically tells me I need to inform other authorities of other improprieties that they see in that investigation. But what I told them was, I'm going to wait on that to see how all this plays, because that's really not my thing. This is her committee. The No on Committee M for Moreno Valley Children or something like that. That's her committee. Her daughter, Elena Santa Cruz, or whatever name she's using now, because if you do the background on that, that's going to tell you a lot right there. She's the treasurer, and this Democratic Party and all of it, what it is it's a family organization. And what they do is they rotate the members in certain aspects. And from what I'm hearing from Evan Morgan, a good friend of mine who works for Highland Fairview, pro bono, or whatever he's doing it for free or whatever, they're distancing themselves from Victoria Baca. So the money that she has left over from the recall election, I think that's the money that she's going to go with. But according to Evan, who I get all my information from, because he talks a lot, Highland Fairview is separating themselves from Victoria Baca. So that's a good thing. And as long as people are, going to my quote, quote, stupid show, for some reason my stupid show is bothersome to Highland Fairview. It's bothersome to the Goon Squad. It's bothersome to Victoria Baca. You know, in a democratic society, if you have a choice. If you don't like what I'm saying and what I'm doing, hey, don't come there no more. Just stop going. I don't go to the pages that are making fun of me and talking about me. I've been blocked from those pages. You know, I'm all for a good joke, but I don't block. I try not to block anybody on my page unless they're constantly doing something stupid on there. But you know, you got people threatening to sue and you know, how do you sue somebody for having opinion on their page? Totally ridiculous. And these are the people that have been running Moreno Valley for 30 years or whatever. I mean, just total ridiculous stuff. But like I tell people, if you want to know what's going on in this city, do what I did. Go to mvgordie.com. That's GORDIE.com. And on that page, and I got to give it to mvgordie.com because he doesn't have a dog in the fight. What he does is he just puts the documents out there for you to make a decision. He has an opinion, but most of the time he reserves his opinion and keeps it to himself. But the documents are there if you want to see what's going on. And that's where I get a lot of my source information. So that case number, when I only put out a page because I don't know where the disposition of that case was. But he put the whole thing out. And I'm not saying that's a right or wrong thing to do because I don't know. But the whole case is out there. He set the record straight. The record is straight. I mean, if you understand this case, the case that Victoria Baca is involved in, she is not the perpetrator, supposedly. But basically, the people that are involved in here, these were all close friends. The lady that is being charged in that case was a very good friend of Victoria Baca. And this is how they've been money laundering, I think, money laundering and racketeering money, because it makes no sense. Think about this, people. If you have a committee that is for the children and you receive money and you're writing checks for money that doesn't exist that was supposed to be reported on your 460, are you stealing money from children? I mean, that's what I couldn't understand. And because they tried to throw this lady under the bus, that's where they got caught with the FPPC violation. And is she going to go to jail, Victoria Baca and the Goon Squad? No, that isn't what I'm trying to show people. What I'm trying to show people is, once again, she is involved in some very scrupulous activity. It's very simple to report that on your 460. It's very simple. They're probably going to fine her and give her a letter of reprimand. But how she's thrown people under the bus, if you read the summary of that case, money goes to her nephew, and it's a family criminal enterprise, in my opinion. You know, I mean, read it for yourself. I mean, I can sit here and tell you my opinion, but you have to come to a conclusion yourself. There is no way I would want to be associated with these type of people. And looking at what's going on, I mean, people need to wake up. This is a very pivotal election, and my thing is nothing personal. I have to know somebody for a thing to be personal. And if I don't know you, by definition, then it's not personal.